what's up? It's Muaaz here, and welcome back to another video. So, a lot of you guys are subscribed to me because I used to upload affordable gaming PC builds, and I haven't done that in a while, so I thought I would make a summer 2017 updated version for mainly two reasons. College is just around the corner, so some of you guys might be thinking about buying an affordable gaming PC so you can game in your dorm if you find free time, and both of the ones I've done in the past have done amazing, so I thought might as well upload another one, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. I am going to have Amazon links in the description below for every part I mention. Also, at the moment I am making this video, all this does total out to a little over $500, but the prices always do fluctuate, so there's a chance it could be a bit higher or a bit lower depending on when you're watching the video. And if that's the case, don't be afraid to buy parts one by one instead of all at once, because there's a chance that you could save even more money if you do it that way. I did that for my first PC build and I saved a ton, so maybe you can too. Anyways, at the end of the video, if you do think you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, but other than that, let's get on with the parts. So, powering your build is actually going to be the Intel Pentium G4600, and if you know much about processors, then you know that the Pentium chips haven't always been the best for gaming in the past, but the 4600 actually has hyper-threading, which is great because it allows us to run basically any game on this build. And I think I said this in my last build, but hyper-threading basically allows us to run like any processor that's a dual core as if it's a quad core processor, even though it's only a dual core to begin with. And this, in my opinion, is the best bang for your buck because it can run a ton of demanding games on high settings for only $80. And if you know much about PCs, then you know how big of a deal that is for a processor. And anyways, moving on from that, we've got the motherboard, and since our processor is a socket 1151 processor, I decided to go with the Gigabyte B250M Evo motherboard, and there's not really much to say about it. It's a pretty basic motherboard. I picked it because it supported the G4600, but you can also go all the way up to an i7 for newer processors. Upgradability is super easy on this board in case you ever want to switch components out in the future, so I thought I'd use this one instead of a different one. And yeah, pretty simple stuff. But moving on from that, since we're already talking about the motherboard, for memory, I just went with the Corsair Vengeance 8GB stick. It's just a single 8GB stick, and I'm pretty sure it's a DDR4, which is awesome, but you might be thinking, wow, I'm spending $500 and only getting 8GB? What a ripoff. And honestly, you're totally wrong. This is a great deal, and 8GB is still the standard to run basically any game or any task on your computer. I actually have 16GB of RAM in my PC, and I still don't even use 8 half the time, and I use my PC pretty heavily, so trust me, you'll be more than fine with just this single stick of 8GB of RAM. And also, upgrading memory is probably one of the easiest things to do in regards to expandability, so if you ever want to do that in the future, I don't think you're going to have a problem or anything to worry about when that time comes. And for the storage, I'm actually going to be listing off two things, and you guys can pick whichever one you want to do. I highly recommend doing both, but I'll list off both and I'll give you guys my opinion afterwards. But the first one I'm going to be listing off is the classic that everyone mentions in their PC builds, and it's the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB hard drive. It's probably one of the best long-lasting hard drives out there, and that's why so many people use it in their builds, from like $200 builds all the way up to $2,000 builds. It's just such a reliable hard drive, and I don't think you can go wrong with using it. 1000GB for only $50, like seriously, you can't really go wrong with that in my opinion. And the next one I have for you guys is actually an SSD for about $30 more, and that's going to be the 250GB Western Digital Blue SSD. And now the con to this is that it's only 250GB, which ideally should be enough for most people, especially from the get-go, because you're not going to be installing a ton of things all at once. And then you can add a Caviar Blue 1TB hard drive later down the line as a storage drive to give you more space. That's what most people do. In my old build, I actually had a 250GB SSD and then a 1TB hard drive for storage, and I've never filled up storage on either of them. And on my current PC, I have about the same, but I also have an extra 2TB hard drive for storage in there too. And again, same thing, I've still yet to fill up either of the drives. So if it was me, I would go with the 250GB SSD and leave another like SATA data and SATA power cable hanging unplugged in the case, so it can make for easier installation when I do buy like a storage drive later down the line, preferably the 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue one. And I know for some of you guys it might be a lot to spend all at once, so again, I don't think it's a bad idea to save your money slowly and buy each part one by one. That's what I did at first, and I saved a ton, so hopefully you guys can too. But anyways, moving on from that, we have the graphics card, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are waiting for, and I know it's super hard to get a lot of high-end graphics cards for retail as of late, because everyone and their moms are buying them for Bitcoin mining and stuff like that. But luckily for us, the GTX 1050 Ti 4GB graphics card was barely affected by that, and just because it's not the best crypto mining card does not mean it's not a good card for gaming by any means. And I actually built my friend a PC earlier this year, and we used the 1050 Ti, and it's running super smooth for him right now, and he actually plays a lot of demanding games, which is great news. And this is honestly probably one of the best budget cards you can buy, and currently the Superclock version is cheaper than the normal one for some reason, and again, I have no clue why, but you might as well get that one before it jumps back up in price. And moving on from that, we've actually got what's going to be housing the build, and I think this is the same case I've used in two of my other builds, but honestly it's an amazing case, so that's why I keep using it, and the price is so good that you can't even complain. But this is going to be the Corsair Carbide Series 100R mid-tower case, and it's probably one of the best cases for an entry-level gaming PC, with honestly like fantastic airflow, which should prevent any of your components from ever overheating. I said this before and I'll say it again, the only downside to this case in my opinion is that there aren't any flashy colors or LEDs, which is something you guys might be looking for, but since there is a see-through side panel, installing an LED strip in the case would be a great option if that's something you're looking for. It's usually a pretty cheap thing to do, so if you're you're interested in that, then definitely go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can spend an extra, I think like $20 to get a flashier looking case, but in the end, that's totally up to you. And lastly, we've got the power supply. And for this build, I decided to go with the 80 plus white 500 watt EVGA power supply. And I was looking at the 450 watt bronze one, but I noticed that this one's literally only $2 extra, and it's the #1 selling power supply on Amazon. And I know bronze power supplies are slightly better, and by slightly, I honestly do mean like very slightly. So I decided to go with this one because it's 50 extra watts, which is great for future upgrades, and it also does have a 3-year warranty, which is fantastic. And I just know personally that this is an incredibly reliable component for any build out there. So anyways, I believe we've covered everything for the build now. You still do need to buy an operating system, but I'm gonna leave that up to you guys and whatever you guys might want to do with that, whether that's Linux, Windows, whatever it may be. You can find authentic Windows 10 keys like super cheap on sites like Kinguin and stuff like that. And also, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that I'm sponsored by Ironside PC, so if you guys want me to make a video on how to build a PC in real life, let me know and I'm sure I could work something out with them for a future video. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Here's a post notification shout out from my last video. If you want one, just hit that bell icon below, like the one that's circled here after you are done subscribing. Comment below saying you did it, tweet me a screenshot for extra proof. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, be sure to drop a like if you did enjoy the video. See you guys.